Once a month, I meet up with my friends, the ones who've stuck around since our school days. They chat excitedly about their new romances, glowing and laughing. And I just smile and stay silent, like that English lord who didn't say a single word until he was 16, right up until his porridge burned. What would I even tell them? About the parent-teacher meeting, the housekeeper, about Thermage, La Mer cream, and hyaluronic acid. Looking after myself, that's my job. I do it on autopilot. But sometimes I ask myself, why do I put in so much effort? Why do I endure waxing, anti-cellulite massages, and all the rest? Because deep down, I'm sure, if I stopped putting on lipstick one day, the last person to notice would be my husband. And yet, changing my life completely, getting divorced, starting over, feels foolish. To feel like a woman again, all it'd need is a harmless little fling. But with who? Reputation, like money, follows the law of accumulation. Once it reaches a certain level, it starts working on its own. Over the years of my happy marriage, the men around me have developed a kind of immunity toward me. And to be fair, you've done the same toward them. A fling with a co-worker, a friend's husband, or some high school ex feels tragic. Besides, there's always the risk of gossip. I was surprised myself when, cold-bloodedly weighing the risks, I crafted a strategy. I waited for a business trip to Europe. Alongside the usual suits, I slipped into my suitcase a pair of sheer lingerie sets, a pair of Lau Baudins, and a bottle of antiseptic spray. In the planning phase, cheating turned from a romantic escapade into a project. Not exactly the feeling I was hoping for. But without it, I doubt I would have gone through with it. Reputation, like money, follows the law of accumulation. Once it reaches a certain level, it starts working on its own. Over the years of my happy marriage, the men around me have developed a kind of immunity toward me. And to be fair, you've done the same toward them. A fling with a co-worker, a friend's husband, or some high school ex feels tragic. Besides, there's always the risk of gossip. I was surprised myself when, cold-bloodedly weighing the risks, I crafted a strategy. I waited for a business trip to Europe. Alongside the usual suits, I slipped into my suitcase a pair of sheer lingerie sets, a pair of Lau Baudins, and a bottle of antiseptic spray. In the planning phase, cheating turned from a romantic escapade into a project. Not exactly the feeling I was hoping for. But without it, I doubt I would have gone through with it. Then came the waiting. At breakfast at the hotel, my attention was caught by a fit, composed gentleman, looked like a businessman from somewhere in Asia. He stood out among the loud, overeating Englishmen and Germans. But Buddha, as I nicknamed him, paid no attention to me. He smiled only at his eggs and sausage. By evening, my schedule was clear. I could lounge in bed or gone to the pool. But something nudged me to go back to the restaurant. This time, I walked in with that just rolled out of bed vibe. And he noticed. He paused mid-bite, watched me carefully. Later, he caught up with me in the lobby and offered to show me the city. We spent the day together. He pretended to be a tour guide. I pretended not to notice he was quoting a guidebook. He never asked me about my husband or kids. His compliments were awkward, but his discretion made up for it. In this parallel world we'd stumbled into, I was young, beautiful, desired, and completely free. We had dinner back at the hotel, then went up to my room. Back home, when I was still scheming this little betrayal, I was terrified of the details. What excuse would I use to get him into my room? How would I subtly offer a condom without killing the mood? Should I turn the lights off? And worst of all, how would I survive the morning next to a stranger? But apparently, the stranger had experience. Everything happened naturally. In the dark, without awkward tenderness. In the morning, I woke up alone. At breakfast, he was nowhere to be seen. No note at the front desk. No flowers, no text, no business card. Buddha had vanished and left behind not just a beautiful night, but the feeling that it had all been a dream. No guilt, no shame, and, strangely, not even a strong desire to return to my family. It's like after sex, some people crave cuddles, others crave silence. 3.5 hours later, the plane landed at Sheremetyevo. The mood still lingered. My husband met me at the airport. We always tease each other. The hosher the joke, the better. He grinned. So, how was it? Did you get yourself a lover? I went with the classic defense through attack. Yes, darling. Young, handsome, rich, nope. Just an interesting middle-aged Asian guy. Was he good in bed? Not bad. Solid B+. That all. I was late to the buffet. You're joking, right? I was this close to saying, no. I'm serious. But I played it safe. What do you think? I said, then snuggled into his chest, just in case our eyes met. I think, for a second, he actually wondered could I, his beloved wife, mother of his children, actually cheat. Maybe for the first time in our whole marriage, the thought crossed his mind. And it stuck with him. 4 weeks afterward, he'd suggest Chinese takeout with a suspicious smile. Or Japanese, if I preferred. He clumsily tried to eavesdrop on phone calls, peered over my shoulder when I opened Facebook. Meanwhile, I watched him butter toast or read a detective novel and thought, if I saw this man for the first time, would I fall for him? And honestly, yes, I would. I even caught myself feeling jealous, as if he had been unfaithful. Not me. It's been a year. I don't regret anything. But I know there won't be a second time. No more adventures. One was enough.
We've been married for over 22 years, 3 children, a full life behind us, memories, birthdays, school mornings, family dinners. Our son is 19. The girls are 14 and 7. I love my wife, still do, in some strange and painful way, but that love is hanging on by a thread. 7 years ago, she met a man at the gym where she took the kids. Another dad. They chatted, laughed. One day she introduced him to me. He seemed decent. We even became friends. Families hanging out together. They had 3 kids too. It all looked so innocent, but I started to notice things, little things. The way her eyes lingered when he spoke, the way she laughed at his jokes a little too long. I said something. She promised to stop. 2 years ago, I bought us a townhouse. We threw a housewarming party, and there she was flirting with him again. So obvious. His own brother-in-law pulled me aside and asked, "Are you seeing this?" I talked to her again, but again I let it slide. Maybe I didn't want to believe what I saw. Then I helped that man start a business. I trusted him. A year ago, his partner passed away. He asked my wife to join him as a business partner. She agreed. They started traveling together for work, always staying with partners, or so she said. Then I found out he had booked hotel rooms, more than once. When I asked her why, she told me, with a straight face, they were for his lover. He has someone on the side. Wait, what? The same man she once described as the perfect father and husband. Now he's cheating too? It made no sense. 6 months ago, we visited their house. He got drunk and started talking. He laughed and said, "Don't worry, I protect her from other guys. If I wanted to sleep with her, I would've done it already." That was the moment something inside me cracked. I gave my wife an ultimatum. Cut him off. Completely. She smoothed it over again, like she always did. And I, like a fool, let it go. Then came January 8th. We planned a dinner at a restaurant. She dropped me off at the store, said she was going to her dance class. I left my phone in her car by accident. When I called it from my friend's number, it answered. I heard her voice. "The keys are in place, I'm coming. Are my roses still fresh?" Roses? Not mine, his. I checked her location. She wasn't driving toward the dance studio. She was headed to his house. That moment, that precise moment, it's like the world falls out from under you. You shake. You can't breathe. You're calling her again and again. She says, "I'll talk to you in an hour." Then she stops answering. You wait. You drink. You drink an entire bottle of vodka, because what else do you do when your life is collapsing in real time? She comes home. The kids are there. I lose control. I scream. I call her names. I hit her. Just once. Then I beg her. Talk to me. Please. Where were you? She shuts down completely. You're insane? You're imagining things. No explanations. No remorse. Just silence. That night, you don't sleep. You go through her call logs. You see a pattern. Every time she said she was going to dance class, she called him first. For 6 months. Next morning, while she's still asleep, I check her phone. Missed calls from him. I text him. Pretend to be her. I say, "Let's meet at our place at noon." He agrees, sends the address. At 11:30, I drive there. He's outside, waiting. I get out of the car. He tries to say something, but I don't hear him. Everything is numb. I don't punch him. I don't scream. I just walk away. Because when the soul breaks, there's no fight left in the body. Later that day, I show her everything. The texts, the address, the timeline. She finally admits it. Kind of. Says they met 5 to 7 times. Just for coffee. That he's just a friend. That she loves me. I ask her to take a lie detector test. She refuses. If you don't trust me, why are you still here? She says. Why, indeed. So here I am. Broken, angry, humiliated. Sleeping in a rented apartment. Far from home. Drinking to numb the thoughts, but they won't stop. Not at night. Not at work. Not for a second. I begged her to talk. I begged him to explain. They both shut me out. Eventually, I ended up in the panic attack. The psychologist said it was a breakdown. He gave me pills. Only now 4 nights later I finally slept more than 4 hours. And this is what I've decided. Yes, she cheated. Even if there was no sex, there was betrayal, lies, emotional intimacy that wasn't mine. I will stop drinking. I will stop sending her money. I supported her fully. She never worked. That ends now. I don't care if his wife finds out. I don't care about his kids. He didn't care about mine. Oh, raise my self-worth. I love my children deeply, but I won't see them for a while. 3 months, maybe. Until I'm strong again. And yes, I will get revenge. The elegant kind. They'll become better, stronger, healthier, more attractive. They'll fall in love again. Because the only way to get over a pain like this is to give your heart to someone new. Tonight, I'll start meeting people. No sex yet, just healing. In 2 months I'll file for divorce. Let that be her second wave of shock. And yes, she was beautiful, sexy, hard to replace. But nothing is irreplaceable. Nothing. Because women who cheat once, they don't suddenly become loyal. They just become better liars.
I used to love him madly. We were young, full of laughter, dreams. I really believed it would last forever. But everything changed. He started drinking, shutting down. He sank into himself and stopped letting me in. I'd look at him and see a stranger. I tried, I really did. I suggested trips, new beginnings. I went to therapy hoping he'd join me. But every time, he'd brush me off. Leave me alone, he'd say. I wanted to save us. I invited him out, planned little surprises. Once, I cooked his favorite meal, lit candles, he took the plate, and went to eat in front of the TV. Like I wasn't even there. Every day, I felt more and more alone. Living with someone who didn't even try to see me. It was like it disappeared. Work became my escape. At least there, someone listened. There was one colleague who'd ask how I was doing. He noticed when I looked tired. He laughed at my jokes. Told me I was smart, beautiful, strong. He reminded me that I was still alive. I didn't plan anything. But one moment, it just happened. I didn't even think I was capable of something like that. It was a mistake. A moment of weakness. I didn't want anything more. I wasn't looking for a new love. But my husband found out. I don't know how. Maybe a message. Maybe someone told him. He packed his things. I stood by the door, wanted to say something, but I couldn't. He didn't even look at me. Just left. And then came the silence. Real, crushing silence. At first, I felt like I was just being punished. But then came something worse than guilt, regret. I betrayed him. But even more, I betrayed myself. The woman I used to be. The one who dreamed, believed, tried. I couldn't sleep. I kept going over everything of the talks, the arguments, the quiet. And I kept asking myself, what if I had just walked away sooner? What if I hadn't stayed? Hadn't hoped? Now, I don't think about that other man at all. He was just there when I broke. I don't want anything with him. All I can think about is my husband. Where is he? Is he okay? I'm scared. Scared he'll do something stupid. Scared he'll confront my colleague. I know him, and that terrifies me. I tried going to therapy, to sit down and make sense of it all. But even there, I stayed quiet. I just cried. The words, they were stuck somewhere inside me. I keep remembering the way he used to look at me. With love. With trust. And the way he looked at me that last day like I died to him. Can I fix this? Can he ever forgive me? And more importantly, can I forgive myself? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. The apartment is quiet now. That heavy kind of quiet. Every morning feels like punishment. Every night like a trial. I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm not trying to justify what I did. Just if you're hearing this, don't let things get to this kind of silence. It cuts deeper than any word ever could.